Peace, family. Welcome to another episode of Broken Theory. Today we got the homie G COLO. What's going on?
What's good, man? How you doing?
Bless, man. Bless. I appreciate you making some time to, tell us your story and how you got started with music.
I appreciate you for giving me the time, man.
No doubt, bro. How'd you get started? At what age did you start making music?
So I started writing music in fourth grade, and then it wasn't until quarantine that I really decided to take upon the opportunity to record music since we were cooped up. So I started recording music when I was 16, and I am 20 right now.
Okay, that's what's up. So over that period of time, what was your first step to recording music by yourself? Do you go to a studio? Do you have a home studio?
Well, I have a studio that's in my neighborhood. So when I was trying to look for studios and stuff to record with, I had gotten tapped in with a guy that's another rapper here in Colorado Springs named Black Pegasus. And Black Pegasus had took me to his studio and had introduced me to the environment. And so my first studio session in 2 hours, I ended up making like 6 songs. And so from there, him and the song engineer were very impressed. And so then while I was recording there, my song engineer at school, or my tech guy at school, he had told me that he had a studio in the neighborhood. So I had started going with him since he was giving student discounts. And then from there, I've still been going with him.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. What, as an artist, how did you find your sound?
That's a really good question. As an artist, the way that I found my sound was I used to be extremely sleep deprived. So I would get half an hour of sleep. And this is while I was working concrete. But during the time, I always knew that I loved music and that I wanted to learn more. And I knew that if I were to be releasing music, I need to be able to be valid, because especially in hip hop, as cutthroat of a genre as it is, I need to make sure that I'm on my shit. So I would always just study freestyles, and growing up, I would listen to people to like Wu-Tang, Tribe Called Quest, Mobb Deep, OCD, like a bunch of people. So I would study their cadences and all that, but at the same time, I would try to make it my own. So my goal throughout music has always been trying to have an East Coast type of lyricism, but mixing it with the West Coast type of sound and with the West Coast type of feel, you know?
Yeah, that's dope. At what point did you kind of decide like that's the style that you wanted to go for? Was it something that you always knew since you started? Like you wanted to have like a certain, I guess you could say, niche of sound?
It was really when I was looking into Chicano rap, because I feel like right now Chicano rap and Mexican rap is in a bubble. And so I wanted to be able to stand out, and I wanted to be able to find something different. I wanted to find a balance to where I have the audience of people who just want the music for the vibes, but also the people who are intrigued with the lyrics, I want them to be able to have something to enjoy as well. As me, I am a lyrics kind of guy. So I've always wanted to be able to find a formula in which I can blend the two. And it wasn't really until last year that I truly found my sound. And then that's when I decided to start off with the new rap name, because I used to go with my real name, Gabriel Martinez. But I figured, you know what, if this is going to be a new introduction to me as an artist, I need to be able to start off with an artist name as well.
Nah, it makes sense, man. Definitely. I mean, as an artist, some people look at it like, they're protecting their peace, they're protecting their loved ones. You know what I'm saying? Like, because there are some crazy people out there, bro, that will just try to show up to your doorstep, talking about their favorite songs and shit.
Hell yeah.
What's the process like for you when you're working on an album?
So right now, actually, that's funny you asked, because I'm in the middle of making my first mixtape. And so the process has really been my biggest thing has been experience, and not just in music, but within life, because if you don't have any substance behind your lyrics, then they don't really hold much weight. So I wanted to be able to, I guess, go through certain things or take fragments of my past and be able to, I guess, find a way to comfortably um, interpret it in lyrics. And with that, I've been trying to put myself in certain areas and certain surroundings to where the song will have the same feel as my environment, because that makes the writing process for me a lot more raw. So I live in an area in Colorado Springs. It's called the Parkside, and it's southeastern Colorado Springs. And there's a park there. It's called Monterey Park. And at night, I'll sometimes go there and I'll just lay in the field and I'll just write. Or sometimes when I'll just hear like certain, gunfire, certain like people just going, doing their little exchange, I'll just start writing in the moment. That way it can feel extremely raw. And then as far as with beat selection goes, I've always been a boom bap type of person at first. And since this is going to be a very conceptual and substance-based album, I wanted to be able to go that route. That way people can focus more on the lyrics. But I also know that it's good to have that diversity within an album. That way it doesn't seem consistent, or, well, not consistent, but repetitive.
Yeah.
So it's just been trying to find the right sound, but as well as that, making it as authentic as it can be.
No, absolutely.
And is it okay if I add on to that?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Oh, okay. And then as far as the recording sounds and as far as actually making the songs and knowing what song goes where, I like to be able to record the song, but I know that if I'm feeling it, it's either I get it in the first take or it's going to take me a few tries, which I learned as an artist is okay with. And I mean, with spending that studio money and with taking that time to do it, it's okay, because you're perfecting your craft. It's just like somebody that's learning to ride the bike. The only way that they're going to get better is doing it more and more and more. And so there's that as far as recording it. And with what song comes next, I like to try to make it diverse to where if they're listening to it in order, that it would be like, okay, one song is boom bap, here's an interlude, and then this song is a little bit hype, and then this song has an alternative feel. That way the listener can, stay on their toes and not be bored with the project. And that way I'm able to really flourish my diversity as well.
I like that, man. I noticed as an artist, the projects that I kind of gave my fan base a little bit of everything. I hear more and more often that those are my best projects. You know what I mean? But me, myself, as an artist, I really like conceptual art. You know what I mean? Like music that was designed for you to listen to from start to finish. You know what I mean? Like one type of vibe. I really enjoy those pieces of art. I would say maybe my best example of that would maybe be Marvin Gaye's I Want You. You know what I'm saying? Like with just like same vibe all the way across the board.
Yeah.
What do you feel like makes a good song or a good beat for you?
That's a really good question. Because me, when I look for beats and when I look for certain types of instrumentation, it'll take me hours. So there will be times where I'll go and I have certain producers that will make beats for me. So I'll let them know what type of feel that I would want with the song. And then if I have a song that correlates with the feel, then I will send them the song. That way they know. But if I'm just searching for a beat by myself, it'll take me hours. And I will clear my schedule and I will take the time to look for hours, because I'm very nitpicky when it comes to beats. So like I said,
the one that you picked out for the album that we, for everybody that doesn't know, I'm working on an album. Everybody that's being on the podcast is getting the opportunity to be a part of it. It's some real dope shit people have been submitting. I'm excited for this project. But the record that you picked out, it was definitely not what I expected, but I can't wait to hear that. You know what I mean? Because I actually was just like listening and I was like, damn, I forgot I made this shit.
Oh, dude, and that beat is fire. Like as soon as I was looking through the selection of beats and I found that one, I already had a chorus in my head. And when I'm looking for songs as well, I'll try to see if the cadence that I'm gonna come with matches the time sequence for the beat very like fluidly. Because at the same time, I'm a type of person that when it comes to writing music, the best person I could relate myself to is like JID as far as flow pattern, because I don't like to be consistent. So I like to be able to grasp the listener's ears with taking different types of flows and being able to mesh things that isn't a normality in hip hop. And so, yeah, when it came to your beat, man, I already have the whole song written. It came extremely natural, and you'll see it's going to be another very conceptual song, and it has a lot of substance and stuff to it. So I'm very excited for you to be able to see what I came up with.
Nah, that's dope. That's dope. Nah, I damn sure can't wait to hear it. I already got somebody in mind that I'm thinking about putting you on the track with.
Hey, whatever you give me, man, anything you give me, I'm ready, man.
Nah, I got you. Any books that you're reading or that you've read that changed your life?
I will say one thing about me is I have ADD and ADHD, so it's very hard for me to stay focused on one thing. Like, for instance, right now I'm in the midst of writing 30 different songs, and it's because it's very hard for me to stay focused on one thing because I like to work. I like to put my foot in like different types of like areas. And so with reading, to be completely honest, I don't have the attention span for it.
Nah, I got you. I got you.
And it's funny because, I mean, you would think that you see the correlation that reading and writing music and stuff have, but I guess it's different when you're trying to read somebody else's creativity opposed to when you're making your own.
I like the way you put that. That's deep.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's different because it's just like if you're going to a museum and if you're admiring somebody else's painting, the process is going to be different, and the way that you appreciate it is going to be different than if you were to have created it your own. So, truly.
What sacrifice? Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, so for me, I appreciate reading and I appreciate books, and I know that when I'm able to come to a point in life to where I'm able to be more, I guess, at peace and settle down, I will try to come back to it. But as far as right now, yeah, reading is super hard for me just because I have so much going on in my head.
Nah, I feel it, bro. But you know what I'm saying? Knowing that is very important, just to make sure that you do set aside some time, like even if it's like 5 minutes, bro, if that's something that you want to work on, you know what I'm saying? There's no limit on what you have to do, you know? It's just the fact that like trying something every day, and like there's different books that you can use different ways. Like a book that I would recommend to you is The Creative Act by Rick Rubin. And the way that I've been using that is like, you know, if I have like 5 minutes before a session or something, I'll read it a little bit and then go into creating. Because the stuff that he's talking about, he's worked with some greats. I mean, Jay-Z, a lot of different people, and the techniques that he talks about in that book, you know, is definitely stuff that you can apply into your life. So when you get a chance, definitely check that out, bro. For real. Yeah,
I'll definitely have to.
100%.
I just wrote it down. I'll have to.
Oh, you wrote it down?
Oh, yeah.
That's what's up.
No, I'll have to.
Yeah. What sacrifices have you made to get where you are right now?
And this comes naturally with a lot of people that are just locked in. I've lost a lot of relationships with people. I've spent a ton of money, a lot of money in music, but you know, this is something that I'm very passionate in, that I know that can go somewhere. A lot of time. Time is a big thing. Just a lot of events, a lot of birthdays and stuff, just when I have to be out of town for music, or if I'm just at the studio or something. Because for me, it's once inspiration hits, I will drop anything that I'm doing. I could be in the middle doing a chore. I'll be in the middle driving. And if something hits me, then I'll pull over to the side of the road and I need to write it down, or I need to be able to, I guess, create something with it. So for me, music has always been my main priority. So I've never felt any type of way with relationships or anything that I've lost, just because I know that when it comes to where I'll be at in the future, it'll be worth it. And so I know that the only person that I need to be investing in is myself. And if that means that other people don't see the vision and don't want to be a part of it, then that's completely fine. I hope that they eat, just not at my table.
I dig that, man. For real, for real. How did you get the name COLO?
The way that I got the name COLO is that I had been talking to labels that were interested in me, and they were telling me, look, like, we highly recommend that you get a rapper name, because let's say if something legal were to happen, your real name is attached to it, since you're using your real name as your rapper name. So I was like, you know what, that's really smart. And they had told me that a few years ago. And so now, like I said, when I came to a point to where I felt like I had took a turning point as an artist, and when I was looking at my rapper name, one thing about me is I am very passionate about where I'm from. So the 719, Colorado Springs, I am repping it in almost every single song, if not every song that I make. And so I, especially since there hasn't been really a breakout artist from here, I want to be able to let people know that if you're listening to me, I want you to know where I'm from. So G is for Gabriel, and then COLO is half of Colorado. So every single time people ask me, I want people to know I'm from Colorado and from the 719.
After knowing that, I'm definitely not going to get your name wrong again, bro.
It's all good, man. It happens a lot.
That's good, man. Hey, how do you deal with creative block?
Damn, that's a good question. The way that I deal with creative block is sometimes if I feel like I'm at a block, that's a telltale sign for me that I know that I'm doing too much, or that I need to be able to take a step back and let it naturally come to me. So sometimes when I feel like writing a song, a lot of problem that us artists have is that sometimes it'll be forced. And it's super important for me, especially with this upcoming mixtape, that everything is extremely authentic. So when I do end up getting writer's block, since I live right next to the mountains, I'll take a cruise, I'll go to the mountains by myself, and I'll just be one with my environment until it naturally comes, to which it usually always does. And so, yeah, I'll either do that, and if not that, then I'll listen to the greats. And because when I hear other people doing great, it makes me want to cook something up. So an album that never fails me to get inspiration is To Pimp a Butterfly. So I'll listen to Pimp a Butterfly, and especially tracks like Mama or You. If I feel like I need to make a track that's very vulnerable, then I'll turn to tracks like that, just because lyricism, the way that it's tethered with the instrumental, it's, I mean, in my opinion, Triple Butterfly is the greatest hip hop album of all time. So I get inspiration from that, and then I'm like, dang, like these are some very like jazzy chords. Like, oh dang, Thundercat's doing his thing, so I should probably like try to make something that's jazz inspired, or that's Thundercat. And then I see how he's using this topic I see how he's using it to be his own. So let me try to use the same topic, but let me try to tether it with my own story. So. Really, I'll either go into nature, I'll go to the mountains, or if I end up listening to those types of songs, then I'll get inspiration from that.
That's fire, bro. What do you feel like was your biggest investment in music?
Could I answer it with something that I've learned?
Sure.
Okay, so my biggest investment in music really is investing in myself, but also learning to not care about what other people think. Because I feel like a lot of artists, they're very, obviously you're gonna care about what people think and if people like mess with your stuff or not, but I also feel like people get too caught up in that, and that's where the authenticity could, not be present. or it could go away. So really, I've learned to make music for me. And if people fuck with it, then they fuck with it. And but at the same time, that's why too, I'm very, very nitpicky and I'm very hard on myself when it comes to music, because I truly feel like I'm my own competition. So let's say if I'm gonna write a bar about like the Renaissance, then I will study the Renaissance. That way it's an accurate bar. And like let's say if it's about the Hermetic principles, or if it's about the Industrial Revolution, I'll give myself a whole course. I'll try to learn about it, learn the history. That way I'm very punctual with my punchlines.
But see, you said you don't have the attention span for reading, but you're doing stuff like that, bro. I'm not convinced.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's I think that's just what you're telling yourself, bro.
It could be, man. And that could be another thing that I have to overcome. It's just, you know what? And this is the thing. I haven't found a book that I feel truly resonates with myself. And I think that's where I need to do a better job at, trying to look for it.
Yeah. Still Like an Artist too is a really good one.
Still Like an Artist?
Yeah. Still Like an Artist. It's very short too.
Still Like an Artist. Okay. I'm gonna write it down real quick.
Yeah, very short.
Steel like it. Is it steel like the metal steel, or like
nah,
steel
like steel like I
something?
stole something. Yeah.
Okay. That sounds good. All right, bet. Thank you, man.
Yeah, no doubt, bro. I think between the Rick Rubin book and that book, you'll find what you're looking for.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna for sure look into them. Yeah, I appreciate that, man.
No doubt. Who would you say is your top inspiration?
Okay. Growing up, when I was first getting into hip hop, I was about 6, because the first type of music that I got into was heavy metal, and I was listening to that when I was like 5, and so a big inspiration for me is people like Slipknot, My Chemical Romance. But when it comes to hip hop, I'd say Kendrick is a big one. Logic was the first artist that I really got into, and his Under Pressure album that I released in 2014, it's very vulnerable. And so that opened my eyes to vulnerability in hip hop. So I'd say Logic, Kendrick, Black Thought. Black Thought is a super big inspiration for me, because I've always loved the Roots crew, and I feel as though he's a extremely underrated GOAT. So I'd say Black Thought. When it came to more intricate lyricism, I started looking more into battle rap, just because you know how battle rap has like crazy punchlines and stuff. So I would say like Loaded Lux was another one. My Son, and then another big inspiration for me as far as, I guess, making catchy tunes, and he's actually my favorite artist right now, is G Perico. G Perico is a West Coast rapper. He's from,
I know who he is.
He's from, G Perico.
Yeah, he
hard, man. Yeah, he's dope. So yeah, I'd say really those are my biggest inspirations as far 100%. As rapping goes.
What would be some advice that you would tell yourself when you're starting out?
A solid piece of advice that I would tell myself when I was starting out would be to not be afraid of making mistakes, because I feel like learning from those mistakes are what, molds a better version of yourself. And another thing that I would say is, try not to force the writing process. One thing that I learned throughout the years of writing music is that if it'll come to you, it'll come to you. And if it feels right, then it'll definitely feel right. And if for some reason something doesn't, then that means that it's not authentic. So that's one thing that I learned with myself as far as writing. But another thing I'd tell my younger self is to not be afraid to collaborate with other artists that are upcoming as well. Because I feel like when I was first starting out, I was putting myself in a bubble a lot, and I was kind of not really open to collaborating with a lot of artists, just because I felt that I wanted to grow as an artist and as an individual before I started collaborating with other people. Because honestly, I'm the type of person that if I'm on a song with you, it's friendly competition. Like, I'm gonna body you like on this song. So I get that competitive spirit a lot. And now it's cool because I've been able to collaborate with a lot of cool artists, and it's opened a lot of more doors for me. So I would say just, collaborating with more artists and being able to find that mental space to where lyricism is authentic, but at the same time still at a high level.
That's dope. What do you feel like is your most memorable performance moment?
Ooh, my most memorable performance moment was actually my last concert. So I had done a sold out show with for Baby Bash, Lil Rob, and MC Magic, and it was cool because there was only 2 openers, me and another opener, and it was the 3 headliners, and I was the only opener from Springs, and so the whole crowd knew about me, and it was crazy seeing other people repeating my songs back to me and just coming up and freaking asking for like autographs and pictures, and especially seeing kids being extremely inspired and having the parents come up and say that I'm an inspiration, which is crazy because I mean, I just started like, I don't think that I'm bigger or like more important than anybody else. I just happen to make music and other people just happen to like it. But I'm glad that my music is able to have a gravitational pull of, I guess, positivity of it and of inspiration. So yeah, my last show, because when I was on stage and I mean, seeing all the lights, it's really sunk in that I'm doing what I need to be doing. And then next week, actually, I opened up for OGZ.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's dope, bro.
Oh yeah, he's super dope. So hopefully I'm able to make a new one next week.
Yeah, 100%, bro. You got somebody doing the videography for that?
Yeah, I have. There's a guy in Denver. His name is The Mac Films.
Oh, okay.
And he's done music videos and stuff for me. So I'm gonna have him vlog that whole day, and then the next day I have another performance. It's in my neighborhood, but it's for a lowrider show, and it's cool because it's in my city too. So I'm gonna have him come out and do that as well. So it's gonna be a busy weekend.
Yeah, that's fire though, bro. You definitely got to get all that content, and you know what I mean. Post that shit.
Oh
up.
yeah,
I definitely want to see it. So definitely send it to me.
Oh yeah. Oh, I got you, man.
Mm-hmm. Who's somebody that you would love to work with?
Locally or just in general?
In general.
In general, I would absolutely love to work with Terrence Martin. Terrence Martin is a crazy producer, and I feel like his production and I guess the type of field that I have with hip hop, like we could make a crazy like album. Him, The Alchemist. I'd love to work with The Alchemist. Jungle's a British electric R&B group. And so right now I'm actually in the midst of learning a lot of choreography and stuff. That way I'm able to dance in my own videos and make my own choreography, just like how they have the choreographers in the video. Nostalgia-wise, Kendrick and Logic, Black Thought. Locally, or as far as like, I guess, not so, well, I don't want to say not so big, but yeah, more local artists. I'd love to work with FBP West. I'd love to do work with CNG, Lil Weirdo, G Perico, of course, but hopefully that will be done by either this year or next year. Yeah, and for now, yeah, that's really it.
Facts. Yo, I just want to thank you for setting aside some time, you know what I mean, to talk with us. Is there anything that's coming up next that you want to let the people know?
Yeah, I appreciate you for taking the time to interview me. And one thing, I have a mixtape coming up. My biggest thing is I always make the song first and then I make the name last. So I don't know what it's called yet, but it's going to be a very conceptual album about growing up in the park side, what it was like being around like all these gangs, all these shootouts and stuff, and just how I've grown as an individual. The project that I don't want to compare it, but the project I'd say that it correlates to the most is like Good Kid, Mad City. So it's going to be very cinematic. I'm going to try to perfect it. I've been working on it for about a year now. I have the opening show with OGZ. I have a concert after that. Over in the Parkside on Monterey and Circle. That's going to be August 31st. I have a headliner show September 28th at the Ultra Flat Black Gallery. I'm going out to LA in October to shoot videos with Cam DeGuapo, MC Bob, Rookie, a few other artists out there. And then, yeah, just more music. I'm going to be dropping very consistently, but I also like to be a person that it's quality over quantity. So, yeah, just stay tuned for more music.
Nah, I appreciate you, bro.
I appreciate you, man. I thank you for coming with really good questions.
Nah, no doubt, bro. I mean, this is what I do, bro. So I gotta do that.